Hi, my name is Korre Johnson. I work on the social media team here at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. Thank you so much for joining us. We're streaming live from the 8th floor of our hospital in our neonatal intensive care unit. And today is day 3 of our Periscope event. We've been broadcasting to support baby Madeline and to help raise awareness of premature birth. And so for those who are just joining us today, baby Madeline was born early at 24 weeks, and she actually weighed just over a pound when she was born, but she spent the last few months in our NICU getting bigger and stronger. We have a very special event planned for you today. We're going to introduce you to Madeline's mom, Rebecca, and her dad, Oliver. We're going to hear more of their story, and of course you're going to get a chance to see baby Madeline. And we have 2 very special guests joining us today. We have Lisa from our lactation consultant team, and we have Angie from the March of Dimes. Both have been intimately involved in the care that both Madeline and the family has received in our NICU over the past few months. So for everybody on Periscope, please take an opportunity right now to go ahead and click the share button, help us spread the word, and help us show some support for baby Madeline. And for everybody, please go ahead and post your questions right now and throughout the broadcast so we get a chance to see those. So with that, I'll step back behind the camera and introduce you to this amazing family.
Hi, I'm Rebecca, Madeline's mom, and this is Madeline's dad, Oliver, who's joining us today. Like Korre mentioned, Madeline and her twin sister Lydia were born early at 24 weeks. So they spent just over half of the time in the womb as they were supposed to. Her original due date is actually this Friday, and she is happy to be with us today. And she's
waving hello.
Yes. She does, so many of the newborn things, telling us that she's in charge and like showing us when she wants to eat and when she wants to play. But she's had a very long road to get to this point. She's had some major challenges, getting some of those basic things up and running, like being able to breathe on her own, being able to eat on her own, holding her temperature, making sure she's getting excellent nutrition so that she can really develop the way that we had hoped that she would have developed while we were pregnant with her.
So how is Madeline doing today since the last time we talked?
Madeline's doing awesome. We're getting ready to go home, hopefully tomorrow. So we're so excited. This is definitely the best part of the NICU journey that we've been on. It certainly has not been always like this. And so definitely, for those parents who are watching who may be earlier in their NICU journey or not started yet and have it coming in their future, the NICU can be a very scary place, but this is sort of the end goal that you're always working towards, and the team is helping you get to this point where Madeline is doing all those things almost on her own and just needs a little bit of help that we can provide her at home.
Oliver, what's it been like for you to balance work and travel back and forth here to the hospital to see your daughter?
It's been challenging at times. I think that I took leave immediately when we came down, because we came down to Freighter, and Rebecca was on bed rest for a few weeks while we tried to solve the issues that were causing the challenges with the girls, and was here for the first few months pretty much nonstop. I don't think we left the hospital. But then I had to go back to work, and so going back to work and working with my employer to find a flexible schedule so that I could come back to Milwaukee at least almost every night to spend with Madeline and early morning feedings and things like that helped me stay connected while I was traveling back and forth. But that drive and all the construction is definitely, I'm looking forward to not having to do that so often.
Yeah, but I read a statistic early on in our NICU journey that babies whose dads come and visit them as often as they can, they have a better chance of going home earlier than if they didn't have that experience with their other parent. And Oliver has been, really instrumental in Madeline's care and, part of her team.
Oliver, as you look down at your daughter, what types of hopes and dreams do you have for her?
I don't know, I was thinking about this when Rebecca was talking about this yesterday, and what I want for Madeline, and I want so many of the things Rebecca said. I want her to explore the world and explore relationships with other people. I want her to feel compassion and understanding for other people, and grow in perspective, I think, is a really important thing for her. And I think that she will have a different perspective on life than many newborn babies, because she'll have things like this Periscope to look back on and remember through technology her experiences here. But everybody has a story, and everybody has a story that we should seek to understand. And so I hope that's what she's able to do.
And do you have any advice for other dads out there who may be just on the beginning end of an experience like this in a NICU with a premature baby?
Be here. There's a lot of pressure to not be here, and a lot of reasons why you can find why you shouldn't be here. Whoa, you waking up there, sweetie? But there's a lot of pressure to not be here, and that I certainly learned that with Madeline's sister, that we had 5 days with her, and if I had missed one of those days, I would never forgive myself. And being here as much as I could with Madeline helped me understand not only the journey that she was going through, but the journey that Rebecca was going through, and when I was here with the doctors, then understand what's going on, because I was here so often. And so that's what I would suggest, is that Dad should be here.
And it sounds like we're getting really close to the end of your NICU stay.
Yes.
And so we might be at a point where you can reflect a little bit on all the different people you've met and all the different experiences you've had in the NICU. Does anything stand out as far as being very extraordinary or just memorable?
All of our nurses, like our primary nurses, if you were watching yesterday on Periscope, you met Lynette, and the day before you met Erin, but also our night nurses, Jackie and Sherry, have really helped make this experience something that we can understand and learning how to cope with it, but also, helping us be able to be there for Madeline the way that a parent should be. You aren't able to interact with a 24-week gestation baby the same way that you can interact with a full-term baby. But it's so important that Madeline does feel that connection with you. We did something called kangaroo care, which you can do, with very small babies, and it's skin-to-skin holding with a small baby, so that they can, feel you, they can smell you, they can feel the warmth, and really help build that bond between parents and baby. That was something that the nurses always encouraged us to do. There were a couple of bad days where we didn't get to do it, but even on days that I was feeling unsure, and they helped us understand what Madeline could and couldn't be able to tolerate.
Yeah, I think the nurses really did a great job, and it's our primary nurses and then the nurses that fill in around the schedule, but that they did a really great job of involving us throughout the process in everything. I mean, when the girls were born, I followed them down in the incubators while Rebecca was recovering up after the surgery, and followed them down, and there was so much activity in both girls' room because they were both so early and sick, and there were so many things that they needed, and I sort of stayed out of the way, but literally within the first few hours, when Rebecca was to a point where we could both come down, and things had calmed down for the girls, the nurses immediately got us involved in their care. Whether it's placing the cotton ball that was their diaper when they were born, or whether it's we did little swabs of breast milk as soon as Rebecca started pumping in their mouths. Those little things that, even though we're kind of separated by the equipment and the isolate, that they got us engaged with our girls as soon as possible. And so I really appreciate that.
And especially with Lydia's story, those are the memories and the experiences that we were able to have with Lydia. If we had been held back those first few days, we wouldn't have been able to say, that we changed Lydia's diaper. We helped, get her all bundled up and settled to go to sleep. We were able to hold her when we found out that Lydia was going to pass away. The nurses helped us, arrange with a photographer. We did molds of her hands and her feet, and being able to have some special memories and some special things, and also sharing too with Lydia. Lydia felt a part of our family, I am sure, and Lydia knew that she was here and she was loved, and a lot of that's due in the staff here helping us be able to do those things with her.
Yeah. And it's really important. It's important with our experiences with Madeline early on and our experiences with Lydia early on. I mean, we've seen sort of both outcomes of this NICU journey, and that all of those things are just as important. We were involved in Madeline's care early on because that was the beginning of our bonding with our daughter that we're going to spend the rest of her life with. And for Lydia, those are the memories that we have with Lydia. And so, had the nurses not been as supportive as they were in just helping us be involved, we would have missed out on so much.
I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce some of our staff who provide that kind of support. So Lisa could step in. Lisa is one of our certified lactation consultants. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
And I was wondering Lisa, if you could explain to everybody just what does a lactation consultant do?
We're internationally board certified lactation consultants that are also pediatric RNs here at Children's Hospital, Wisconsin. So we're able to meet the families after delivery. Some moms we get to meet sooner than others. Rebecca was a little sick herself afterwards, and she triumphed with her milk supply. And we were able to support her from drips to now thousands of ounces that she has. So the goal is always to start that initiation of pumping and then to educate mom and dad. And then to use that liquid gold because the milk is made specific to the day the twins were born. So it's made specific to that gestational age. It's different at 24 weeks than it is at 30 weeks. So we want to also share with the families how important it is. And it also is beautiful that they were able to do the oral cares, do the kangaroo cares, and then transition to cue-based feeding. So taking that kangaroo care to then going to breast and now being very successful at breastfeeding on their journey home. Mm-hmm. So we've been along with them on that journey, giving the best nutrition possible, and she's been thriving on it.
Yeah, and when I was, thinking through my pregnancy early on, I thought I'll do all my research about breastfeeding during the third trimester. I have so many other things to worry about now, but I never had that opportunity to get as prepared as I had wanted to be. So it was so important to have support and to have people to both share with me how essential it was for Madeline and Lydia to have great nutrition, and also there were days where we felt like we really couldn't do much to support them, but we could always keep to the pumping schedule. We could always be putting milk in the freezer for when she was able to be able to feed both through her feeding tube with breast milk and then on her own with us now.
Lisa, can you speak to what are some of the benefits of breast milk?
It's made specifically, as I shared, to the day they were born, and it gives them active immunity. So everything Rebecca was ever exposed to her whole entire life is what was given to Lydia and Madeline after their delivery via oral cares. So those oral cares are utilized to line their mucous membranes, which then lines their intestines, which we know are very fragile in our very low birth weight population. And so we do that. It also gives them secretory IgA, lactoferrin, all those over 100 live cells in every drop, and active T cells that are incredible that help her thymus, which is the main immune gland. So it's just super powerful that we don't think about it, as well as 4 different live stem cells. Research at this time is for finding more stem cells, so it's so much more powerful than we can even imagine.
And Oliver, have you had an opportunity to feed Madeline? I'm sure you have, and can you tell us what that experience has been like for you as dad?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, watching Madeline sort of progress, because it has been a long journey. It's not that we, girls were born and Rebecca was pumping within 3 days and suddenly there's all this milk and Madeline's ready to eat it. That was not the case. Even from pumping, we pumped for weeks. Yes. and didn't have very much coming from it, and it was every drop we were getting to give to the girls. And then even when we had this abundance of milk, Madeline couldn't eat it. And so Madeline used a feeding tube and was only getting partial feeds for a while. And so it took a long time, and it was finally just a couple weeks ago that I came in early before going to work, and the nurse said that she's ready to take a bottle, and so I gave her the first bottle that I was able to share with her. And it was an awesome thing, because it's certainly a long time coming. I don't know what the normal dad experience is like, the day after the baby's born, being able to do that, but certainly I anticipated it a long time.
Yeah, and our nurse actually put this together. It's Madeline's first bottle with dad that she did. So, it's not just about the mom. Like, the dad is so important, and you can do so much for, the baby if you do have a baby in the NICU.
And I agree with how Oliver partnered with Rebecca and was there with each pumping, looking at the pump logs. So when we were trying to say, okay, now we have all this milk, now we can stagger our pumpings a little bit on the journey. And Oliver was there all the time, being so supportive of Rebecca, which is so huge to have that. And I think that's why we have such success. Because we had small amounts in the beginning, but we still believed and knew it was there and that it would come, and now we have.
And I think, kind of like what I was saying about the importance of dads being here, and there's so much pressure to not be here, I think for moms who are pumping, and like Rebecca had every excuse to not keep pumping every 2 hours. I mean, there wasn't a lot of supply. She was physically recovering herself from 2 surgeries, and the girls weren't able to eat it. So there was all these reasons for her to not stick to that, but every 2 hours we got up and we pumped. And it's because of that now we have this abundance of milk.
I'd like to take a moment to remind everybody on Periscope to please go ahead right now and click the share button to help show your support for baby Madeline and to help us raise awareness of premature birth. And with that, I'd like to introduce another member of our team. So Angie works with the March of Dimes. Hello, Angie.
Hi.
And I was wondering if you could just explain to us, what role does the March of Dimes have in raising awareness of premature birth?
Sure. Well, the March of Dimes has been an agency that's been around since 75 years, started by Roosevelt back in his presidency to combat polio. From there, with that success, they moved towards helping women and babies with birth defects and now prematurity, and it is a passion to make as many moms and babies go to full term if possible. And if not, we have support programs like here at Children's, where we have NICU family support specialists in the hospital to partner with families, to provide education and support groups to families, and to partner with our hospital staff to bring more family-centered programming to the neonatal intensive care units.
Rebecca, could you speak to maybe the first time you met Angie, or the first time you got involved in one of these activities?
Yeah, I think one of the first activities I did was the string journey beads, and I made one for Lydia, and that is a way to kind of track milestones for your baby, a way to remember the things that they've gone through, even the bad things. And it's a string that you put beads on, and each bead represents like a milestone, like a first feeding, maybe reaching 2 pounds, maybe kangarooing or meeting a special family member for the first time. And so I have that made for Lydia. But then also on Neonatal Nurses Day, we made thank you cards for some of the nurses here. There's activities going on throughout the week, just providing wellness to moms, and educating about how they can take care of their babies and keep them healthy and safe as well.
Angie, can you explain to us, what is kangaroo care?
Kangaroo care is the basis of skin-to-skin holding between baby and mom or dad. So baby is in just a diaper, and then mom and dad have their shirt exposed, either a zip-down shirt or skin off. And baby is just in a diaper, kind of resting against mom or dad's chest. It's not only for premature babies, but full-term babies too. Like Lisa said, it's kind of precursor to breastfeeding, so that skin-to-skin holding, if baby's not able to eat yet, it kind of helps with the milk production. It helps maintain the baby's body temperature. Everybody has kind of good germs on their skin, and it passes those antibodies to her with either being held by her mom or dad. For bonding and attachment. Sometimes parents say, especially like you guys, you weren't able to hold the girls right away, and that first time you're able to hold is when you feel like you were parents for the first time. So,
and actually, we knew about 2 days before Lydia passed that she was going to pass away, and we were able to hold her on a pillow one day, and then on the next day we saw her heart rate dropping very rapidly, going to zero. We saw her oxygenation levels plummeting, and the nurses and we all thought she was going to pass away like in that moment. So we took her out of the incubator. We did skin to skin with her, and Lydia responded in such a wonderful, beautiful way to tell her that she was so happy to be with us and be a part of our family. She actually brought her heart rate back up to her normal range, and she extended her stay with us. And I mean, you can feel as a parent your connection with your child, but that was another way for us to really see that Lydia was connecting with us even as she was sleeping.
Angie, is there resources available for families beyond their NICU stay?
Yes, families that are in the NICU are typically followed by our developmental care clinic pediatrician. They come in at about 3 months after discharge, 6 months after discharge, 9 months, 12 months, up to about age 3, just to check and make sure they're maintaining or meeting their milestones, and if not, there's resources in the community to help the kids be the best they can as they grow.
And Oliver, I know you had an opportunity to do skin to skin as well. What's that like from your perspective as dad?
It was awesome. I mean, I think that we didn't get to we held Lydia first, predominantly because the girls were both so sick when they were born, and Madeline was on a special type of ventilator that doesn't allow you to do the skin to skin. But when Lydia switched to a normal ventilator and was able to do skin to skin, I think I held her for like 5 hours, and as long as we were able to maintain the temperature, then it was fine to go as long as possible, and it was awesome. And I had Lydia for 5 days, and she during that time she peed on me, which I guess is something that is a dad milestone, so I was able to have that, and I really appreciated that.
So we know that your discharge date is coming up really soon. It might even be this week, right?
Yes.
So what types of things are you looking forward to when you finally go home with Madeline?
Sitting. Being just the 3 of us. I think that's... I startled you.
Is her room decorated? You have family waiting for you?
Yeah, we have been able to go back home a few times to work on getting the nursery together, putting all of her, cute clothes organized in the closet, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of our family being able to meet with her. We've had family members see her when she was very small. We've had some family members see her when she was more this size, but she has small cousins that weren't able to make the visit, who will make sure that they wash their hands. Like maybe they'll just take like a shower before they come to see her, just to make sure she doesn't get any cold or anything like that. But helping her, find her niche as a part of like our family and our extended family. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody, be able to see her maybe for the first time or interact with her a little bit more. And also, I mean, we are hoping to be home at the end of the day tomorrow. So we'll be home for the holidays and begin building, those traditions and those memories that I think is on everybody's mind when you find out you're pregnant. You want to have those like great special moments for the holidays. Yeah.
I think it's incredibly fitting that we go home because their due date is Friday, and so it would be just like, it's not just like it should have been, but that it's as close as we can get. And that I kind of want to talk about a little bit the follow-up is that, Madeline's journey is not over. She still has, some things to take care of and some challenges that she faces because she was born so early. Mm-hmm. But the people here at Children's have sort of connected us with so many people these past few days that are ready to, we've got people that are in-home nursing, and we've got follow-up visits with just about everybody. And so we've got a road ahead of us, but we feel supported and we feel like we've still got a team to help her.
With Thanksgiving coming up so soon, can you take a moment and just talk about what you're thankful for?
Well, I'm thankful that we were able to meet Lydia and spend time with her. There's many moms who have a miscarriage, before they are able to, kind of lock eyes with their little one. There's so many different things that can happen, and they're all hard. I mean, they are all so hard. But I feel really grateful that we were able to spend some time with Lydia, and of course grateful that Madeline has worked so hard and been such a fighter to be with us and be, our family now. I'm also thankful for, I guess, more of the ability to process these things and understand what other families have gone through as well.
I'm thankful for all of those things, and I'm also thankful for Rebecca. This journey has been difficult for me, but never was I on an operating table, or never was my health in question. And the things I've watched Rebecca do for our family these past few weeks has been truly incredible. And I'm thankful to have somebody like you.
Well, we're very grateful that you both and Madeline took time this week to share your story with us. We're going to wrap up today's broadcast, but before we do, I want to take a moment to thank everybody that has tuned in over the past few days on Periscope to learn about baby Madeline's NICU experience and for helping us raise awareness about premature birth. So again, thank you, Rebecca, thank you, Oliver, and thank you, Madeline. We wish you guys all the best. So thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.